So I'm just bouncing around upstate New York again, visiting some new places, and staying at another lock. You might remember last year I stayed at, was it last year or 2 years ago? Lock 17, just up the way. White Plains, Little Plains. And now I'm in Little Falls on lock 17. And walking around here, I'm thinking how cool it is. It reminds me, I feel like I'm in Europe. Just the water and the old buildings. I always say that upstate New York reminds me of Europe a lot. And it makes sense because it's old and European, you know, European people came here way back in the day and established towns. So it makes sense. It's a lot older than the West. But I'm walking around and I'm like, I'm in Europe. I can pretend I'm in Europe with Sadie. Over here. My favorite part of the day. Sun setting. It's quiet. I get to walk around when it's all empty. I know, I'm weird. There's a cafe. I'll check it on the way back. Vegan Thai chickpea wrap. Vegan curried soup. Look at those doors. You can imagine, I don't know, 20s, 30s, maybe 1800s. There were balconies, shops, maybe homes. And people lived there, right above the Mohawk River. It's awesome. So I'm in this little town park on the lock. The lock is back behind me. And I think it's Moss Island. And there's all kinds of visitor parking signs, but there's no camping or no overnight parking signs. This is not on any of the apps. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I was last night in a spot. Yeah, I filmed it. I was in a spot last night. I had no cell signal at all, which was fine to be off grid for the first time in a very long time. But I can't do that a lot because I have to work and stay in touch with people. So it is all the noise you hear, that's the noisiest it's been. It's really not that bad. The train's far enough away, doesn't come through very often. Electric something. Hydroelectric project. Doesn't look like it's used a lot. Beautiful grass right here. Level enough. When you're stealthy, you don't want to put out blocks. You don't want to look like you're camping here. So I've been here. I pulled in like 3:30. I pulled in for a phone call and eat. Just kind of thought I'd see. Sadie, jeez, come on. I just worry with that leash, her being so close to the canal. Come on. Anyway, I pulled in not knowing if I was going to stay or not. And it's been really quiet down here. So we'll see how it goes. Good morning. Well, I had a successful sleep here. Nobody bothered me, so that was nice. I didn't sleep great again. Boy, the night before in the the state forest. I didn't sleep at all. I had taken, I don't know if I told you, sinuses have been really bad. And I took 3 Excedrins before bed. It took me a while to realize that's why I couldn't sleep. I was up all night. And so anyway, I did sleep better last night. A little bit of a couple trains, a little bit of road noise right above me. But that kind of just added to the ambiance, especially the train of being on the Erie Canal. I mean, come on. So that didn't bother me. So yesterday I was in the Walmart the other day. I picked up a whole package of beans. I'm going to make some bean soup because I haven't been eating well at all. Just being with my mother and you guys in the Northeast, man, and New England, your pastries, they're everywhere and they're delicious. I don't know if it's the humidity, but Danishes, I mean, I've been eating all kinds of crap I wouldn't normally eat, and I need to stop because I feel like crap. I don't like how I'm looking, so. Hey friendlies, so I'm in editing right now, listening to this video, and of course this was shot a couple weeks ago, and I'm talking about the weight gain. Yeah, it's kind of obvious. I've gained some weight since I've been in New York, and maybe even before that. And what's funny is the fat shaming comments I've been getting. I mean, seriously, I have been overweight my whole life. I'm 56 years old. I have heard every fat insult you can imagine since I was in elementary school. So nobody can sling a fat insult like a 6-year-old. So really, if you need to shame me about my weight as a 55-year-old woman, if that's what you need to do to get through the day, bring it. Like I said, nobody can sling an insult like a 6-year-old. And if that's the best you got, I'm sorry. Anyway, so I'm going to make a big pot. Even though it's hot, I figured I'd make a big pot. It doesn't even necessarily have to be soup, just like beans and veggies, and that gives me something easy to grab because I have run out of easy to grab stuff a long time ago. So last night, what did I have for dinner last night? I had I love Just Egg. Thank you, Melissa and David, for introducing me to Just Egg, giving me a bunch out of your freezer that your niece had left. I'm addicted. It's so good. And vegan sausage and O'Doul's bread. If you've never had it, it's vegan and gluten-free. It is the best. They make bagels and they make sandwich flats, and it's the best. So and vegan cheese. So that's what I had for dinner. A lot of fat, but a lot of protein too. Working again on adding a ton of protein to my diet to stop with all the sugar. You really see a difference too. You know, I mean, I've been wanting to do a before and after. When I'm eating clean versus when I'm eating gluten and sugar, you see a huge difference in my face. And it's not just like overnight weight gain, you just get bloated. And I'm just not liking how I'm feeling, how I'm looking. So I'm gonna try to get back on track. I told you it's hard. It's anybody who's ever struggled with your weight, you know how hard it is. You know how hard it is. You know, I'd like to blame it on my age, but I've always struggled with my weight. I was born a heavy kid, 9 pounds or something. I was chubby all through grade school and middle school and high school. The only time I've ever really been skinny has been either when I killed myself at the gym constantly and counted every single calorie that went into my mouth, or drugs. So, you know what? I'm okay. Just being mindful, trying to pay attention to my body. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work for a little while because I'm heading up to State Forest about an hour from here to scope out some boondocking I saw on iOverlander. Remember, the issue here is tree cover and cell signal. So even if I do find something, and solar, don't know how long I can stay, but I want to go scope it out anyway. I am heading back to my mom's eventually. I got to change my arms. But I just needed, I was getting antsy. Just needed to mosey a little bit. So I'm just out here exploring. Not bad. It's kind of fun. Sleeping somewhere, you're not so sure. It's fun the next morning when you wake up and you weren't bothered. So, unfortunately, a boat just went by, but I was in the bathroom and I couldn't just get up and grab the quick camera. But a boat went by last night too. See if it's still there. I'm sure it's long gone. Yeah, long gone. It went by right here. So you guys all know how a lock works, right? So in case you don't, years ago, I think we went on a boating trip with my mom's boyfriend, and I'm pretty sure we went through one of the locks. And what it does is so this lock, they said, for example, was built to avoid the rapids over there. So this is a huge canal for commerce and barges and stuff like that, especially back in the day when it was built. And so in order to have a level, even canal for big ships to go through, you can't do, rapids that are varying in depth and things like that. You can't have drop-offs. So they built this canal so that it's all probably pretty much one depth, deep enough for big barges. So it's like you're cruising along on the lock, and you have to level up or level down. I'm assuming if you're going downriver, that means you're sometimes going to have to go down. So what it means is you go into the lock at your level. They lock it off on this end, and then they let water out the other side to lower you down to the next level, so that once you're lower to that level, they raise the lock again and let you go. And if you're going in the other direction, you go in at your level, which is low. They flood water in slowly, and you rise up, and then they can open the lock, and you can go at the higher river level. So right now, if I were to go down there and look at the lock, you've got a river here at this level, and then after the lock, you've got a river down at this level. Does that make sense? I shouldn't try to explain things before I've had a full cup of coffee. Ha! But yeah, I remember doing that when I was a kid. So it's kind of cool. The Erie Canal is kind of cool. I went to Schenectady Community College for a minute, and I remember spending some time on the Erie Canal. My boyfriend and I would kind of come out and picnic and stuff. So they have picnic areas, parks like this. All right. I'm babbling. Let me get to work. Let me mosey with Sadie. Here comes the boat. Here comes the boat. Sadie, here comes the boat. Look at Sadie. She reacts so much to my voice. Sadie. Why'd you go into the rig? There's no critters. Sailboat. So you can also access the Great Lakes. Look at that. Wow, they're cruising. Here's a fun fact. Fun Carolyn fact. When I first moved to San Francisco, I used to work detailing boats, sailboats, just like that, doing cleaning and waxing and scraping teak, redoing teak and stuff like that. I was not very good at it. I ruined a hatch by dropping varnish remover on it, and we also had to stock them up. A lot of them in San Francisco, St. Francis Yacht Club in Marin, a lot of them were used just for business, so they'd have business meetings on them. So I'd stock them up and stuff like that, go to the grocery store and stock them up with fancy food and booze. Yeah, that was my first job in San Francisco, in fact. Mm-hmm. The locks actually help you lower or raise. I'm doing a terrible job of explaining this. So, you know, rivers go down, right? And this doesn't go down. Oh, okay, you know what? I'm not going to explain this because I'm doing a bad job.